Excited now to be joined by their head coach, Niele Ivey. Coach, it is always good to see you. Always nice feeling to be so close to the start of the season for you as you come back in with your ACC Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and a ton of new talent. How are you feeling about this year's group?
I feel really good about this year's group. It's been a joy to coach them. I think that's the biggest thing for me, having joy, and they work so hard. Every person that I brought into this program, our new faces, they've just been awesome. You know, they work so hard. Like you mentioned, I have a lot of experience coming in. I'm really going to rely on that experience. And our core returners, like you mentioned, Hannah, she had a fantastic summer, winning a gold medal. And also KK and Cass, they did a great job of leading this summer, coming back from injury, healthy. So this has been a lot of fun.
Let's go. I mean, I'm ready, Niele. Listen, as a point guard who has won a national championship as a player, I'm calling this season Point Guard U. And it's because of Hannah as the lead point guard. Obviously, like there's not a player like her that plays both sides of the ball. What's it been like to coach her? And then how did you use her to recruit what you've been able to bring into the portal?
Yeah, she's been fantastic, to be honest. She works so hard. She's a gym rat. I almost have to keep her out of the gym sometimes. Yeah, she's always working to get better. She just wants to win. She has that fire. She has that desire and passion to be great and make everybody great around her. So she's been so fun to coach. She's so spicy, like on the court, but then off the court, she's just so special, so sweet, very family-oriented. You know, just love being around her.
Well, Coach, when you turn on the TV these days and watch the WNBA playoffs, you can't help but to see another one of the point guards coming from Notre Dame. So whether it's Jewel Lloyd or Jackie Young or Skylar Diggins that are putting their imprints all over a game.
Yes.
And Hannah Hidalgo is the next in the line of another great Notre Dame point guard, including yourself. What are those things in the offseason? You said she had a great offseason playing, competing overseas.
Right.
Like, what do you expect her to add to her game to take it to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, she's always working on something. So I guess you would think, like, she's, like you mentioned, ACC Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. She came back in the gym working on her game, and she never stops working. And I think for me, it's going to be her leadership because she has 2 years of experience under her belt. She's been in the fire. She's played at the highest level. You know, she's helped us win big games against big opponents on the big stage. This year I'm going to really rely on her to do everything, honestly, but to really lead. You know, we do have a lot of new faces, and to implement them into our system and to be consistent all season long and just use her voice more. Like you mentioned, being a point guard, she's going to have to direct, but also you have to score a little bit. You know, she plays defense. I'm going to ask her to do a lot, but I think that leadership piece is going to be the big piece I'm going to ask her to do.
Niele, take us behind the curtain a little bit with Hannah. Let us know a little bit about what she's like. We know how great of a player she is.
Yes.
And you have coached and played alongside not just some great players at Notre Dame, but great players in the history of our game. She's going to go down as one of the great players in the history of our game pending the season that she's expected to have. Mm-hmm. When you peel back the curtain, what do we see about who she is and that kind of leadership that you're expecting from her? How?
Yeah,
we're going to see it.
Yeah, you know, when you peel things back, she's pretty much a homebody. She's always just in the, like I said, she's always in the gym. She's always around the gym. So even if she's studying, she's going to be in the gym somewhere studying. So she's a student of the game. She's always around the game. But yeah, I think the leadership piece is the piece that I'm really excited to help mentor her with because it's a lot. You know, you mentioned she's kind of like the face of women's basketball. So there's a lot of weight that she's going to carry. So I want to make sure that she's supported and she has an incredible team around her. And they all love each other. And I think that's the best part for me, being her coach.
Coach, you've been on record in saying that the guards set the tone for the identity of the team.
Yes.
So now you have Hannah Hidalgo and Ayanna Moore coming over from Vanderbilt.
Yes.
That backcourt pairing, like, what do you anticipate they will be able to do to determine pace, tempo, and speed both on offense and the defensive side of the floor? Yeah,
I'm so excited about Ayanna. She brings so much. She's a 3-level scorer. She brings experience from the SEC. And she's an incredible person. She's a hard worker. She has an incredible three-point shot. She's going to really help us space the floor. But I think with her experience, she can run the point as well. She's a multi-talented guard. I think those two in the backcourt is going to be very dynamic. She likes to push pace. Like I said, her shot looks really great. And I think they've done a great job of playing off of each other, which is going to be really exciting for the world to see.
Niele, in your 6th year, 4 straight Sweet 16s. You've been so close to that next step. what is it going to take, or what do you see out of this group that lets you think? And I know we got a lot of basketball to play, but when we look at the end and we go backwards, what is it going to be about this group of players that can get you past that next hurdle?
Yeah, I think from the beginning, for me, the process, trusting it, but also getting better daily. So having a new group, establishing that identity, getting better day by day, game by game, and then towards the end, it's having that mindset to get over that hump. You have to have that mindset. If that's on the defense, most is going to be on the defensive end, and that's tenacity to get past that next step. I think it's that mindset that's going to help us get over.
Okay, so we got this new rule. I
was wondering when this was going to come
the
out.
Hannah Hidalgo poke rule.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm calling it that is because if you can poke all you want, and she's already the best defender in the league, how do you coach that? Like, what are you going to do with that? Because she can just rapid fire poke at him. I mean, she could, and her feet are so quick that. I mean, what are you going to do with that? Like, does that change anything in your process about your schemes or your coverages or anything you're going to do defensively?
I mean, it's going to let her go still. Now that we can poke.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy that's going to fall right into her lap. And I think, again, the way that she defends and how she's so it's contagious. So everybody around her is going to pick up that energy. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to be very scrappy. We're practicing that right now. Vanessa brings so much intensity defensively. Cass is so long. KK, Ayana. I mean, we have great defenders. And they do a great job on ball, and I think I'm just going to, again, take off the leash, let her go,
We know you can score. I think that's where we're going to see a difference in your team,
yes.
right? I mean, that's going to be the piece that we should be watching. Mm-hmm. I think about Notre Dame. And when I think about where their next level is.
Mm-hmm. Coach, you mentioned Cass. I want to talk a little bit more about her. You obviously brought her here for a reason because she's such a huge part of what you guys do as well. I know she had the experience with the Olympics this offseason as well, and then in 2024. What has she done to continue to not just grow on the court but evolve as one of the leaders of this team?
She has really evolved as a leader. I've been so impressed by her this summer. She stayed this summer for the first time to really work on her game. Like you mentioned, she's been with Canada national team for the last 5-6 years, and so this is the first summer that she's had a chance to really work on her game, and again, like her leadership and just being around our team for the entire summer. And it's going to pay dividends for her this season. She's gotten a lot taller. She's stronger. She's worked on every aspect of her game. I'm really excited for everybody to see what she's going to bring. She's, again, dynamic. She can play multiple positions, and she definitely has that confidence and mindset to come in and make a really big impact for our team this year, and I'm really excited for her.
Well, Coach, you have KK Bransford returning from injury, Leah Macy, some newcomers. Like, what have you seen from the newcomers thus far in preseason play?
Yeah, Leah's still rehabbing with her knee. KK has been fantastic. She's coming back from injury. She's extremely strong. Again, she's a versatile guard that can play multiple positions. She's a very high IQ, and that's what I think I've seen a big jump from her is just her being on the court and her leading because of her IQ, because she can play multiple positions. But she's worked on every aspect of her game as well. She's really confident, and I think just being healthy is really going to help our team.
Well, quick question for you, because I think this is the question that we all want to know. Leotu King left last year.
Yes.
Who is going to be designing clothes for Niele Ivey? She's still going to be designing?
Right. I might be on the phone Zooming with her.
Working on some looks?
Yeah, working on some looks. She was fantastic helping me last season. So I'm definitely going to reach out to her.
It's nice having a talented squad.
You don't have her anymore, and then you don't have a couple of other players that now we get to enjoy and watch them play in the WNBA, which I know you're loving, and that means a lot to you. How special is that, and then how does that also help? Not that you need help recruiting at a place like Notre Dame.
Yes.
But, you're listing off all the point guards that are in the league. We got more each year. What does that do for you in this program?
Oh, my gosh. I was so proud. That was my first time as head coach to sit in that draft room and watch Sony be drafted the third pick of the draft, and Maddie and Leah too. Oh, gosh, I was just so proud. And it just shows that, this program does a great job of getting our players to the next level, but not just getting them to the next level. They're thriving. We have 3 in the playoffs right now. Jackie and Jewel, 2-0 right now with the Aces. It's a big piece of our recruiting pitch because, again, player development is key. And, again, just getting players to the next level. Their dream aspirations is to continue playing professionally. We feel like we have the platform to do that and the background to do that and the blueprint. So I'm super excited and super proud of them. And this was a fantastic summer in the W for Notre Dame alum.
Neil, I don't know how you balance it all. You've got
Yeah.
your son, you've got your grandkids, you got your team, you've got a lot going on. How do you keep it all, like dedicate time to all of it?
Yeah, my grandchildren are only three hours away. My son's only 3 hours away, so that gives me a lot of balance. They just really fuel my soul. So it gives me a chance to step away from being a coach, and I get a chance to be a Mimi, get a chance to be a mom. My son just had his first game back last night, preseason game versus the Grizzlies. So happy to see him back on the court. Like I said, it just brings my heart with so much joy to be able to spend time with them and just to be a mom, to take a break from being basketball coach.
Brings us joy to sit here and talk to you and know that we are just a couple weeks away from this season. Coach, we appreciate the time and look forward to seeing what you and the Irish are able to do this year.
Thank you so much.
We'll get to you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2025 ACC Tip-Off Q&A. And I am happy to welcome Notre Dame to the stage with me. Head coach Niele Ivey, going into her 6th season. You're not aging, Coach. That's the nice thing. Junior guard Hannah Hidalgo, and then Cass Prosper on the stage with us. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're coming off your 4th straight Sweet 16 appearance, and you earned a share of the ACC regular season title. Fighting Irish are returning 5 players and welcoming 7 newcomers. Neil, how have the first couple of practices gone, and what should we expect from this team?
Yeah, they've been great. The first couple of practices, a lot of energy, and this group has done a great job of being very intentional with building their chemistry off the court. We had a couple players that were, playing overseas this summer, so the first couple practices and also the preseason, they've done a great job of just really connecting. They work really hard, and again, we just brought in the right pieces that fit our culture, but also just their work ethic, their experience, and everyone has gotten better. I think that's something I'm really excited about. Everybody has come in working on a different skill that's going to help us succeed this season.
Neil, death, taxes, and high expectations for Notre Dame women's basketball. Any style changes with the influx of new players, with the development of these players?
Yeah, actually, yes. A little bit more 5-out. We might play a little bit of 4-guard look, and that's going to require a lot of pace, a lot of space. So those are some things that I'm implementing right now, just getting some great flow within our offense, spacing the floor out a little bit. But again, just trying to highlight the strengths of this group and developing what that's going to to look like is something that I'm excited about.
4-out, does that include the 6'3" guard?
Yes, exactly. 6'3", she looks like she's 6'4" now.
Exactly.
But she's had a tremendous summer. She came back this summer for the first time. She's always been with Canada national team, so it's been exciting to see the work that she's put in, and I'm excited for everybody to see it.
Neil, every time I sit down with you, I am just in awe, because it is crazy to me to think this is going to be year 6, but you've accomplished so much as a young head coach. What's been the non-negotiable for you in, maintaining this Notre Dame standard?
Yeah, I think just having the right players. I think that's the biggest thing for coaches, making sure you have the right players that fit your system. And I feel like I've hit that home run, especially with these 2 up here. Just continuing that tradition is bringing in excellent players that are also great off the court, high character players. But again, just having, like you said, this is my alma mater. It means more, so carrying that passion, wanting them to have the same experiences that I've had as a student athlete. That's the #1 drive for me, and just making them better and grow.
Yeah, this one's for the players. Is there a certain player or team that you're looking forward to playing this year on your schedule?
Yeah, I think for me it's UConn. When we played them, I was injured as my sophomore year, so I'm really excited to play them and go there, play UConn at UConn.
Yeah, I didn't want to copy, but I guess I'll say UConn too. That's always a great game. The rivalry is so big and it runs so deep. It's bigger than just us this year. So I think UConn is always an exciting game.
Cass, Coach kind of hit on this in terms of your continued progress each year. Last year saw some mixing up of how they used you from the 3, a lot of flex screens, posting up a little bit. What have we added to the arsenal now going into this year?
I think a lot of consistency with my shot, consistency finishing. I think this year has been a big step up just in terms of being more assertive on the court. And as a leader, I have to lead by example on and off the court, and I really stepped into that role. So that's where I'm at.
Anna, you're the most recent of point guards that are truly some of the top in the country under Coach's eye. What makes her development of point guards and guards in general just so special and unique?
Yeah, I think, the great thing about Coach Ivey is she's been where I want to go, and she's done it, she's won. So just kind of being under her and kind of following her lead is something that's, different from a lot of point guards. And on top of that, just her ability to connect with those players, more than just basketball, just that connection as just like a family, just makes you want to run through a wall for her and just play so much harder.
Niele, you had 3 players drafted this past season. You've got 3 players in the finals right now. As you watch them, can you speak to, one, just the thought process that goes, and just how you feel, that sense of pride?
Yes, definitely pride, and I talked a little bit about the joy that I feel for them, because especially this past class, Sony being the 3rd pick of the draft, watching her development through the course of her 4 years, and Leah too, and Maddie Westbeld. I was just so proud of them. I'm proud that they got a chance to experience something that is really unique. It's hard to be drafted, but also to make a team. And Sony could have been rookie of the year. She had a rookie of the year type season, and just so proud of them. And then the playoffs, like you mentioned, we had 7 in the playoffs in general and 3 in the finals. So being a part of their journey, watching them grow, and not just be in the league, but excel and thrive in the league has been just a tremendous amount of joy and pride for our alum. And we're still, supporting them and just really excited for them and what they're accomplishing right now.
I could put you on the spot and say who you're picking, but it's a win-win, right?
It is a win-win in this scenario, so I'm excited for all 3.
Hannah, I noticed the social media post from this past weekend, and you were in your uniform. Looked good, by the way.
Oh,
and
thank you.
it said, "Walking in what I prayed for."
Yeah.
And again, I wish everyone could see this, because, it was a very moving post. I felt like, can you explain what you meant by that?
Yeah, I think, in this position that I'm in, I don't take it for granted. Every day is just a blessing to be able to wake up and go and play for such a prestigious university. Being at Notre Dame is just something, so many people dreamed of being, and I'm able to do it every single day. And, I'm always grateful, and of course I keep Christ first, and so I'm just always grateful to not only just play the game of basketball, it's just a blessing, but just doing it with people that I love is something that I've prayed for, and that, I'm just so grateful to be a part of.
I really need a microphone. Can you talk to us about the importance of non-conference schedule and specifically road games, non-conference schedule?
Yes, I think, net rating is huge, especially in selection show era. So non-conference is something that I've always learned that you have to really challenge yourself to see where you're at as a team, but also it's going to help you down the road. And also the ACC prepares you for that. There's so much parity in our league, but scheduling non-conference, scheduling a tough schedule, like you mentioned, on the road, only builds your resume, but also prepares you and it shows you what you need as you step into ACC conference play and what you need to work on and where you're at as a team.
Cass, I want you to talk us through the Bend uniforms and when we might see them for the first time. And for those who haven't seen it in the audience, can you describe what they look like?
Yes, so the Bend uniform is a black uniform saying the Bend in gold. I think the main purpose is really to get closer to the South Bend community and really get closer to our fans and just recognize that South Bend has had a great impact on Notre Dame. And so the first time we'll be wearing it is November 9th against Chicago State. So watch out for that.
And Coach, I'll ask you, is there going to be a plan of when you wear these uniforms, or is it random? Because I thought they looked really good.
They looked really good. Like Cass said, it's just an honor to our community. They pour into our program and the University of Notre Dame. So it's kind of our way of recognizing them. And we will pre-select games, but like you said, November 9th, Chicago State. Might be a couple more appearances, but they looked great on them, and we had an incredible rally. We had over 5,000 fans that came out to support us, and so that was really awesome.
Might be rolled out?
Yeah, might be rolled out.
Hannah, talk about what makes the Joyce Center such a home court advantage for you guys, especially in ACC play?
Yeah, the fans, of course. We talk so much about the fans, but they really come and they really rally around us. And even now, a lot of the students now are coming out to support us. And, you know, it's so big how they come, and they come with, you know, big heads of us, like on the sidelines. They got one fan has Coach Ivey, the face all over the shirts. Like the way they just come and support us, you know, through ups and downs when we're going, like if we were in a losing streak, they were still around us. They were coming around saying, you know, we support you, we're here for you. And, you know, it just means so much to us. And, you know, fans just make all the difference, you know, just to encourage us and give us that fire energy, especially I know for me, you know, just rallying the fans up after I and one, you know, after 3 is still anything, you know, really helps get us going.
Niele, this conference is loaded, and I really believe the coaches are just so good in this conference. Can you talk about what makes them so special?
I mean, yeah, I think like you mentioned, like this, there's so much parity in this league, and the makeup of every team is different now also, so it's going to be really interesting to see that. But yeah, these coaches are amazing. A lot of them either former players, have a lot of wisdom, and have had a lot of years and a lot of success within their coaching tenure. So it's been awesome. Again, it's a challenge, but it's awesome to see all the successful coaches doing great within their programs, and the programs continue growing and thriving in the ACC.
This is for both players. 7 newcomers. Who's the one player that maybe we don't know about right now that after a couple of weeks everyone's going to be talking about?
Yikes. We really don't want to give out secrets.
Player X, why?
Player X, this player, I think she's really going to surprise a lot of people. She really went under the radar in, you know, her last program. She's going to come out, and a lot of people aren't going to expect her to do what she does, and she's going to come down the floor and hit her first 3, and she's going to shock everybody. So I'm sure y'all know who I'm talking about, but we're not going to say it to the fans.
Yeah, I agree. I think definitely player X. And I also
Just so you know, this is chemistry that you guys know who X is without saying the name.
But everyone's gonna shock. Everyone's gonna shock the world. I think we're really, really talented. We're deep, and I'm excited for this season. I'm excited to see it, to feel it. But I already know how great it's gonna be.
All right, so this is going to be for all 3 of you, and Cass, we'll start with you, and it's just a one-word answer. When I say ACC women's basketball, what's the one word that comes to mind?
Grit.
Talented.
Powerful.
All right, Notre Dame, thank you so much. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
Now to sit down and talk with Hannah Hidalgo and Cass Prosper, who just sat down. Ladies, hello. It is good to see you. Good to have you here with us. And Hannah, I just want to start a little bit with you and the expectations. Obviously, coming in as Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, there's plenty of people talking about you. How are you handling that? I know it's not new, but in the off season, getting ready for another year.
Yeah, I think my foundation, my support system is always here to support me. So just they're able to take the load off me when I need it. You know, there's always a lot of noise and a lot of talk and a lot of attention on me on social media and things like that. So just, you know, trusting in God first and then relying on my support system.
Cassandre, you have to be grounded to play at Notre Dame. You have to have a servant's heart to play the game the way Niele wants to play it. What are some of the things that you have done to improve your game? Because everybody's talking about you have had an off season where you were on campus and you're ready to go.
I am. I think I've really focused on being consistent. I think consistent with my shot, consistent finishing at the basket. I think also with taking a bigger leadership role, I've been able to really step into being assertive on the court and just being confident, leading by example, and really embracing, what this year has for me. And I'm really excited, especially stepping into a bigger role. It's going to be really fun.
Well, Hannah, there's only been 3 ACC players who have won both the ACC Player of the Year and ACC Defensive Player of the Year, Lindsey Harding and Monica Wright. And so one of the things that I love watching is your passion and the joy that you have on the defensive end. And Coach Ivey was talking about joy, that's what she's seen from the players all off season as you guys have been in the gym. Take us into your head a little bit when you're on the defensive end and you're wreaking havoc when you're at the point of attack. What's going through your mind when someone's bringing the ball up the floor?
Yeah, I think just taking pride, and I don't want the person that I'm guarding to screw on me, and just I feel like it's a little embarrassing. Like, if we're guarding somebody and they score on us, like, low-key, so I'm like, I don't want to be the one that, lets my player score. And so just taking pride in making sure that I'm knocking down my defender. And I want to run in transition. I want to play fast, so that involves me getting stops. And then make my teammates load, lighter. When I'm picking up full court, I'm making them turn the ball over. It's like, okay, I don't got to do too much work. I know Sonny talked a lot about it last year. Like, she'll just sit back over half court and let me steal the ball and just go. And she could just, catch a break. And so, it's always good hearing that.
Cass, how does that fuel you guys too, that defensive mindset and tenacity that she has, and then that carries over to the tenacity that you guys have?
Yeah, I mean, Hannah's always led by example, just I think offensively and defensively. I think defensively she's always played with such a fire, and we have to level up and play with that same intensity, and because she's doing it out on the court, we want to do it for her as well because she's doing it for us.
Hannah, I want to ask you about the new hot stove foul defensive change, okay? Where you can touch more than once. Okay?
Love it.
Yeah, okay.
Love it.
So tell me, in your mind, with your quick feet and your ability to poke as much as you want, how much you're really spending on trying to be a pest?
Yeah, I think you can't really take a break on defense. And, especially, watching the W a lot, and I know Paige talked about, you got to play with fouling, in the W. And I think just playing with that aggression, it helps me a lot because I'm able to be more physical. And, a lot of ball handlers, they don't like physicality like that. When you're all up on them and making them uncomfortable, it's like, because now as a point guard, you got to run the team while having all this pressure on you. So that makes it difficult. And I know that as a point guard, so I try and make sure I make all the other point guards feel like that.
This is going to become the Hannah Hidalgo role.
That's what I'm calling it.
Because you were going to be the poster child for that for sure. But Cass, when you take a look at this roster, you guys lost a lot, right? Citron, Westbeld, and King. And that was a lot of leadership, not just like productivity on the floor, but a lot of leadership in the locker room as well. Like, who stepped up at leaders on this team? And for both of you, who undoubtedly are going to be the leaders, like, what does that look like? What are some of the things that you are doing to implement your leadership style?
Yeah, I do think, we've talked about this at the beginning of the summer, but it's about, embracing everyone's perspective. And, everyone is, we're 3 returners, but everyone has a different side to, they have experience, and being able to take it all in and just really just make sure everyone's embrace and perspective is put in front in terms of leadership. And that's what we've been focused on this year.
You mentioned 3 returners, and KK, I know, is someone that we are all excited to see healthy again and competing. Cass, for you first, what's it been like to have her out there, and what are we going to get to see from her?
Oh, my goodness. I am so happy. First of all, I'm really happy for her. She deserves to be back on the court. She's spent this past year really focusing on her health, and, having her, she's such a positive voice. She's always been a great teammate, but now she gets to really do that on the court for us. And great. She's stepped up big time leadership-wise on the court. She's thriving right now. She's doing really good at practice. So I'm excited for everyone to see, and I'm just really proud of her.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I was just talking to KK about how excited I am to have her back on the team. I think KK she's just so smart. She knows the game so well. She knows, to be in the right positions at the right time, to cut back doors. She just plays the game so smart. And just what she brings to the team, chemistry-wise. I feel like if you look up the word chemistry in the dictionary, I feel like KK is, that X factor. She really brings it for us. And, we just love having her back. We're so excited.
Hannah, I want to ask you about, you're the dominant point guard on this roster. You'll have the ball in your hands. Ayanna Moore's skill set alongside yours. What will we see? Because she's a double-figure scorer coming out of Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Yeah, Yana's a great player. And, I'm super excited to play with her. And obviously this summer I wasn't here, traveling with USA. But, just what she brings is going to be, unlike anybody else. I think she was a great pickup for us. And I think we'll bounce off of each other and play off each other really well. So I'm excited.
For both of you, this is the first off-season where Notre Dame has really dipped into the transfer portal, and so you brought in some newcomers that have experience playing at the NCAA level. Like, what are some of the things that you do in the off-season to start bringing them in to teach them what the Notre Dame culture is and what expectations are at your institution?
Absolutely. I think we are learning from each other. We're finding meaning kind of like an encyclopedia. We're finding meaning in our words, in our habits, in our past experience. And in the team, you know, how do we want to thrive this year? How do we want to experience this year together as a team and grow together? And that's what we've been really focused on, and really just like learning from each other, learning through practices. Yeah, what would you add?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think just being really intentional with spending time with each other off the court. You know, I talked to Maya Moore, and she was just telling me, you know, with her team, they were family first, you know, and they loved playing with each other because they were friends outside of just, you know, on the court. And that was, you know, something that's so big, and something that we're trying to be more and more intentional about is just building that chemistry, you know, off the floor. When you have a family, you know, it makes you want to run through a wall for them even more and play so much harder for them. And so that's what we're trying to do.
I mean, what's going on here? She's talking about the dictionary. She's talking about encyclopedia. I'm wondering if we're playing some sort of word game, because is the Dewey Decimal System in play?
Exactly. And no one's mentioned ChatGPT yet, right? So they're actually getting in the books.
Yeah, they're studying over there.
They nailed it.
Notre Dame brains.
You guys, I know big picture, it's all about what the team goals are, and there are a lot of individual things that you guys have checked off as well. But as you get ready for this season, for both of you, are there goals that you have set for yourself and goals that you guys are already saying out loud with the team?
Yeah, actually, we just had a retreat where we kind of went over, you know, our goals as a team and kind of what we want to accomplish. And, you know, everybody had, you know, great input. And, you know, I think for our, you know, of course, our biggest thing is taking pride in our defense first. We're going to have to be defensive minded and be just aggressive on defense. So, you know, we're really excited for that. Just, you know, locking into defense and then winning, I think, is, you know, the biggest thing for us. And I think for every team is, you know, we want to win. Everybody wants to win. But really locking into how to win, you know, the right way to win and how we're going to do it. And I think for me, just being a better leader, you know, for my teammates, I've been led, and now that I am an upperclassman, I figured out and am still figuring out how to lead my teammates.
Even though she looks like she's 12. Right?
You just said I'm looking older.
I was 11 last year.
Cassandre's taller. You look. Coach Ivey was telling me she's taller.
And you're like, man, it's crazy. Guys, thank you for the time. Looking forward to seeing what you're able to do this season, and know it's going to be another great year for the Irish.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.